When Apsu heard about this, he and his advisor Mummu decided to deal with them. However, Tiamat was against him destroying their descendants. They, in turn, decided to trap Apsu in order to destroy him. This was Enki's plan. He lures the forefather. Mummu's weapons are taken away and Apsu is killed. Then, at the Council of the Gods, courtiers calls on Tiamat for revenge. Although the Great Mother is not in favor of violence, but she has to agree. Anu gave birth to the four winds. He put it in his hands Marduk a gift for his son. He created the storms and the whirlwinds. He made the storms that oppressed Tiamat. It is hard for the gods. There is no rest from the winds, meaning the gods of the first generation, the generation of Tiamat. Evil has been conceived in their womb. Tiamat, the four mothers, so they say, as Apsu thy beloved was slain. Thou didst not come to thy aid, thou sat silent. Anu made four terrible whirlwinds, your womb is shaking, and we are sleepless. Apsu thy beloved may come to the heart. And Mummu, the prisoner, you alone are left, are you not our mother? And you're frightened. You don't love us who suffer so much. Our eyes are dry and sleepless. Throw off the yoke, and we'll have peace. Fight, avenge Apsu and Mummu. Defeat your enemies and turn them into shadows. Tiamat hears their words. Your advice is good. Let us raise a hurricane. Let us destroy the gods in the midst of battle, a new generation. Let's make a battle. Let's pay back the gods. They crowded around Tiamat, day and night, furious. They think of revenge. Lions roaring. They prepare for battle. They hold a council to set up the battle. Mother Huber, that creates all things the same Tiamat. The inevitable multiplies her weapons, and makes serpents of giant size. Their teeth are sharp, their fangs merciless. She infuses their bodies with poison as with blood. She clothed the fierce dragons in terror. She encircled them with radiance, and made them equal to gods. Anu Maalish, 105-138. Table I he who sees them will fall without strength. If they go into battle, they will not retreat. Hydra, Mushusa, Lahama from the abyss she created, the giant lion, the fierce dog, scorpion in human form, demons of storm, Hulala and Kasarka. Ruthless are their weapons, fearless in battle. Mighty creations of her, there is no equal. And also created 11 of these similar. Of the gods, her firstborn, who formed the council, Kingu was chosen and elevated above them all as leader, chief of the council with the weapons of battle to call to battle, the distributor of the spoils. She put them all under his rule, put them on the throne. In the council I have exalted thee above all. I have put all God's decisions in your hand. Thou art above them all, my one and only husband, above the Anananchi I lift up thy name. Anananchi, it is clear, are the created gods of the new generation. She handed him the tables of destinies. On his chest she strengthened. Thy orders alone are unchangeable, thy lips are unbreakable word. Now as Kingu is exalted, they have given him the rank of Anu. Anu Maalish, 139-159. Table I. Thy mouth's speeches let the flames be exude, let the poison we have gathered destroy the enemy's tower. Anu Maalish, 161-162. Table I. In essence, Tiamat takes away the rights to power from his descendants and hands it over to Kingu, appointing him a commander, a general in his army. The Council of the Gods is very angry about this. They do not recognize the power of the king proclaimed by Tiamat, forgetting about the primordial right of the Great Mother to make such decisions. We find a similar transfer of rights in later Greek myths. In the Greek magical papyri it is said that Kronos is connected with chaos and gave the scepter to the goddess Hecate. The situation here is a bit of a reversal. The power of the departed god is given to a woman. Like eternity girding your temples, thou wearest the great chains of Cronus indestructible and unbreakable, and in your hands a golden scepter, on which Cronus himself has inscribed the letters. And gave it to thee, that all things may endure forever, sovereign and subject, ruler of mankind, and ruler of forces, and thou ruler of chaos. The text says that Hecate, a titanate who survived the rebellion of the gods, wears the chains of Cronus. This is a symbol of Saturn's restraining and binding power. It is also said that Saturn inscribed a magical formula on the scepter and that the torch is that Hecate holds. Shortly thereafter, Hecate is said to rule chaos. The scepter is a symbol of power, and, as mentioned, the text hints that Cronus has transferred or delegated some of his power over chaos to Hecate. The back to Enuma Elish. Her body swelled, her mouth opened. He shot an arrow and cut her womb. He cut into her gut and took her heart. He overpowered her. He cut off her life. He threw her corpse. He stepped on it. As he slew the leader of Tiamat. Her army was scattered, her troops scattered. And the gods who were with her, they turned back, trembling with fear, they fled, saving their lives. That is, the abyss was destroyed, but they were caught in the ring and could not escape. He took them prisoner, broke their weapons. Thrown into the net, they were trapped. They cowered in the corners and wept, they were punished and imprisoned. And the 11 who threatened with fear, the horde of creatures that went with her on her right, he put them in fetters and bound their hands. He trampled all their host beneath him. And King Du, who was the chief of them all, he shackled him, and gave him to the demon of death. He tore out the tables of fate that were not rightfully his. He sealed them with a seal and hid them on his chest. As he smashed, he destroyed his enemies. Like a bull he trampled down the enemies of the arrogant. Enuma Elish, 124. Table of King Da. He counted among the doomed, to Tiamat, that he had overcome. He returned again. On Tiamat's feet the sovereign stepped. With a merciless mace he split her skull. He slit her veins and her blood flowed. The north wind drove her to the hidden places. The fathers watched and rejoiced in mirth. They sent him gifts to celebrate. The Lord was appeased and looked at her body. He cut her carcass open. He made a cunning creation. He cut her in half like a shell. He took half of it and covered the sky with it. I made locks and put guards on it, to keep the waters from leaking out. He crossed the sky and surveyed the space. He made a likeness of Apsu, the palace of Medimdid. Apsu was measured by the Lord. His reflection, Esharu, he created. Eshara, the idol he built in the sky. Anu, and Lilandea and their constellations sanctuaries he arranged parking places. Enuma Elish, 128-144. Table of. He made parking places for the great gods. The stars, planets, the likenesses of the gods, he made. Enuma Elish, 1-2. Table v. Thus did he create the heavens and the earth. He made the heavens and earth firmly connected. Then he appointed his rituals. He established his ceremonies. Enuma Elish, 65-67. Table v. Interestingly, Marduk promised to feed the gods by establishing a temple to them on earth in Babylon, one that was to be a likeness of their heavenly temple, and promised that people would honor the gods by offering sacrifices to them. Who would have thought that not much time would pass and he would personally forbid people to honor other gods and decide to destroy Babylon? Having created the world, he bound the 11 demons of Tiamat in the world ocean, which points to the fact that they cannot be killed, only restrained. The epic details how he kills Tiamat. However, given that esoteric texts say that demons cannot be killed, there is something odd about this. He designated the year and its 12 months of 3 stars each, established the position of Nabor to signify the connection between us. He created the zenith on Tiamat's liver, designated the month and gave it the night crown, and said that the sun is connected with murder and wickedness. This is most interesting, because the sun was designated by the god Shemashitu, and he was considered the judge of the gods. Did Marduk know even then that he had done something illegal, for which he could be punished and even killed? He compacted Tiamat's foam and made it rise, creating clouds. On her head he poured earth, and from her eyes he let out the rivers Euphrates and Tigris, which were directed toward the constellation of Crab Cancer. From Tiamat's tail he made the connection of heaven and earth, and from her crotch the sky. And he let out a net so that no one would slip away. Which proves the fact that you can't get out of this world so easily. It's an artificially created prison matrix. So he put a tiara on his head and became famous. The gods said to him, "From now on, you will provide the sanctuary to feed everyone. And then, whatever you order, we will do." Above Apsu, Marduk erected a house of pleasure and made it his kingdom. Babylon called the house of the great gods, which was a copy of Anshar on earth. And the gods exclaimed, "Who has power over the earth besides you? Formerly a son, now our king. He's the one whose glory saved our lands. Let him make his plans, we will fulfill them."